Hi, my name is Kayla.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is
Leer,
Leer,
Wiwanik,
a YVC library podcast. Today's episode is about the Book of Poe. It's just compressed Poe stories with illustration, and there's 4 of them, so this episode is going to be a little bit longer than usual. So we hope you're ready for the ride. Now, let's start off with the basics. What was your favorite story?
My favorite...
Don't give too much detail.
Don't give too much detail, like I was gonna tell you what it was.
Yeah.
Go into all the detail.
Yeah.
It is the Mungers in
Rue Morgue. Alright, well, honestly,
what was yours?
Obviously, mine was the Cask of Amontillado. I can't pronounce it, but it's always been a favorite of mine. So I went into this and already knowing the story and already loving it. So, not to brag or anything. Now, let's change it a little bit. What story shocked you the most?
Let me look at my notes. The one that shocked me the most was the pendulum one.
The Pit and the Pendulum?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
that. One was like
a spicy meatball.
A little like a roller coasting of emotion.
Okay, now for like the final kind of basic question. What was your least favorite story?
My least, The Fall of
the House of Usher.
What was youngest?
Probably. Honestly, I would probably say The Fall of the House of Usher. It's not like because the story is
like
bad.
We hate it.
It's not like it's bad, but it's not my favorite.
It's like comparing to the other ones.
Yeah, compared to the other 3, it's a little bit better. So let's just go ahead and dive into the Pit and the Pendulum. What did you think was happening to like the dude at the beginning of the story? Like he woke up.
Like okay, so like I thought he was dying. Like I thought
he was buried alive. To be honest. I was just, like, surprised. I've never really seen a story start out like that. Yeah. And I was, like...
It was a very, like, off-putting to, like, just jump into it.
Well, if there's anything Edgar Allan Poe knew how to do, it was how to be off-putting.
Yeah.
How do you think he even ended up there? Like, or why? Because, like, I was trying to think about it, and I know that, obviously, he was captured by, soldiers or whatever?
In my head, like, before like, the basis, I was like, he's in this situation because he was a bad guy.
Yeah, see, I thought about that too.
Like, he did something wrong, and then, like...
But we didn't really get background information on why he was there. We just kind of got the story of when he was there.
Puzzle pieces.
Yeah. So, did you think the pendulum would slice him at all? Because I thought it would.
I thought it would, too. And I think, like, the feeling and the thought of that just really, like, boosted the story. Because you're like, he's gonna get caught by it.
And the thing is, I was expecting it from Poe. I was like, oh, Poe would definitely just cut this dude up for fun.
Just for funsies.
Yeah, I was like, okay, go off, I guess. What did you think about his rescue?
I thought it was long-awaited. Like,
I think it was underwhelming.
Yeah, like, like, they could have gave us something, but they were like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, the story is compressed, so it's not, like, as good as the original. But, I feel like his rescue was decent, I guess.
It was...
I could live without it.
Like, next time just don't tell us he
but
rescued.
Overall, I would give, like, the Pit and the Pendulum story in particular, like, 6 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, what about you? Like, 6?
6.5.
Yeah. Okay, now let's move on to the Fall of the House of Usher. Were you kind of filled with dread after the first page when he said his soul was struck with sorrow, all dramatic?
Honestly, I think instead of that feeling, it was most people have felt this way at some point in time.
I know. I just thought it was a weird way to start the story off. I'm like, why is his soul struck with sorrow? This is
once
so
again,
random.
No background information.
And I was like, this is ominous.
Okay, go off, King.
Anyways, what did you think was wrong with Roderick?
I was like, nah, this man's definitely depressed.
I honestly didn't even know what to think.
They didn't give you enough context clues, so you just kind of had to
figuring
it out.
I mean, it makes sense in the end, but we're not there yet. No, I was like, he's either like depressed, he has like, I don't know.
He's mentally ill.
The old-timey Old English flu, I don't know.
The plague.
I was just like, the plague. The bubonic plague specifically. Why do you think like the main dude made so much effort to try and help Roderick? Like, I knew they were friends, but he went like really far out of his way. Yeah, I feel like
if you ever did anything to me like that, it'd be like too much.
Yeah, he just like... It was very intense, but I get that, you know, people would take care of their friends that way, but just the amount of effort he put into it,
like,
I was just a little surprised, but
in
I was
this
like,
day and age.
Yeah, in this day and age. I thought it was nice, though.
It was nice.
It was nice.
It was heartfelt.
Were you surprised by the ending?
No. I think, like, I wasn't surprised, but I was like, it was more shocking than anything, you know? It was like, why is this happening?
Yeah, honestly, I was surprised. Yeah,
it was a twist.
It's not something you expect.
Yeah,
and I definitely didn't think he was gonna get scared to death. Like, actually, like it's just kind of funny that she claws her way out of the coffin from being buried underground, and then she's like, she jumps on her, and she jumps on him. My apologies, and then they like both die.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, girl, that was so random.
It was such a plot twist. It was like no context clues could have like
led
you up to that.
I was just like, okay,
you know, like, this do not make sense.
So what would you give this little story out of 10?
Out of 10, I feel like maybe like a 5.
This one's a little higher for me. I would say like a 5.5.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So not like super high.
Yeah, maybe a 6, because I did think the story was still interesting.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not my absolute favorite. Speaking of my absolute favorite, the Cask of Amontillado. So, what did you think about Montresor, and Fortunato's friendship at the beginning? Like, I thought it seemed genuine.
It seemed genuine, but then, like, as you further on...
Yeah, you get the context clues about what he's about to do to Fortunato.
Like, oh.
Because I remember reading the original, and I was like, oh, they're friends, this is fun.
Yeah, like, in the original, it seems like so...
Yeah. And then, obviously, the same thing happens in the original, but I was like, huh... Did you think it was kind of suspicious when Montresor asked Fortunato to confirm that his cask of wine was Amontillado?
Yeah.
Because, like, I know he's, like, a wine connoisseur or whatever, but I feel like Montresor seemed like he was, like, higher.
Yeah.
In, like, the public hierarchy, the social hierarchy. Yeah. So I'm like, a part of me is like, he would just know what Amontillado tasted like.
What is this, like, I'm gonna have someone else, like...
I know, like, I knew he needed that to go where he went, but also I'm like, that is such a weird way.
It's like, just do it.
Just, like, come on. Why do you think that Montresor was, like, kind of acting buddy-buddy with Fortunato? Like, I know he was trying to gain his trust.
Yeah.
But, like... Do you think it was, like, purely manipulation?
Oh, yeah. Like, if anyone was toxic in that friendship...
It was obviously Montresor.
Fake.
I don't know, I just feel like... I feel like Montresor is a very dramatic person.
Yeah.
And I feel like he needs to chill out, in my personal opinion. Like, come on, girl. Have a drink of Amontillado. Like, I was like...
Shocking. It was like,
what is the point? There's, like, so many other ways to, like... Well, I mean...
murder
someone, take care of somebody. And he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make...
Out of anything you could have done. Like...
Yeah, I was just like, okay.
He was like, easy ways I could have done this, the hardest way possible.
He really, like, drew up a schematic, and he's like, some parts here, some parts there.
It's like the meme with the lady and all the equations
going
on her face.
Yeah. But, honestly, like, I think that Montresor was, like, hella super dramatic.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember in the original Fortunato had done, like, a small misdeed to him. It was just something completely small, and you could, like, oh, I'm sorry about that, blah, 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 blah. But he really took it to the next step.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why it cut him that deep. I was just kind of sitting there, like...
It was giving mental breakdown.
It was giving mental illness. And I was just like, that's... Obviously, you have to be mentally ill in some form
snap like that.
To, you know, murder someone.
Thank God it's not me, though.
Right? Anyways, but I love this story. For me, it's like a classic, and I love it so much. So I would have to give this one like a 9 out of 10. Yeah, because I love it.
It was good. Yeah.
What about you, though?
Like a 9.
Yeah, like a 9.
9.5.
9.5. The highest score yet.
I'm sorry.
Okay, now let's move on to the murders in the Rue Morgue, the final story and Hannah's favorite.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what did you think happened at the house that we were like first introduced to in the story? You know how it was like ransacked and men were arguing and all that.
I mean, like, initially I just didn't have a clue. I mean, like, I couldn't even chalk anything up.
Yeah. It was like a very dramatic start and it immediately pulled me in.
It was.
I was like, what's going on? I was like,
what's the tea?
I was like, is someone getting robbed? Or is this
murdered?
Or exactly.
Is this a homicide?
I was like, well, where is this going?
Yeah.
And then of course we find out that people were murdered. So
was a homicide.
Why do you think that the women were murdered?
I definitely do not think it was, like, a money situation. I mean, it could have been, like, a money situation.
Yeah.
But, like, when I'm reading it, I didn't immediately jump, like...
Like, I know we know, like, how they were murdered, but it just seems really far-fetched to me about how it happened.
Yeah. And like, why it happened.
Exactly. I was like... In my head, there's, like, has to be something more to it.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's not in my heart, but, like...
It's like, it was so dramatic, and then it was...
Yeah, and it was just...
The build-up was, like, there, and then you get there.
And then you're kind of, like...
underwhelmed.
I'm a little confused. Like, who do you think did it originally? Like, before you finish reading the story, who do you think did it?
I thought it was the cop.
Yeah, you think so? I actually thought it was the cop as well.
No way.
But then I was like, oh, but he entered the house because of the disturbance.
I feel like everyone had a reason why they could have been.
Yeah. Honestly, I was thinking about Alfonso, the undertaker for the Rue Morgue, because I was like, he could totally do something like this. He works with bodies and, like, all the time.
Like, no one's gonna look into him too deeply.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he seems kind of fishy. But I also thought the guy who delivered the gold to their houses was kind of weird as well, because I was like, the
vibes went off.
I was like, I mean, I get that. I mean, old time, maybe they delivered gold, I guess. I was just kind of grasping it. I was like, why would you...
like, why gold?
like, why would you have gold coins delivered? Like, I know they use it as money, but it was weird, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, now let's get to the end. Like... Were you surprised when we found out it was a literal freaking ape who committed the crime, the murders?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I never had this up until literally when I checked out the book, and then today because I had the full version.
Yeah.
I think sitting down and looking at it first glance, you don't think it's gonna be the ape.
No, I didn't even think an ape would have like come into the story at all. That's like probably the last thing ever I would expect. I was like, a monkey?
You know, like,
I guess he's not a monkey technically, blah blah, he's an ape. But I was like, so you're telling me an ape busted into the house, slit a lady's throat, did the same, and like strangled the other woman.
Yeah.
Put her, wasn't she up the fireplace?
Yeah, it's like, what was his vendetta against these women?
I'm just sitting here like, he was just, like, randomly violent for some reason.
It kind of makes sense, because have you seen that video of that ape throwing the poop at the grandma?
No.
Oh.
Like, I know they throw things, but, like...
I have a video of them with the squirrel.
I almost wish the ending was changed a little bit so it was a person.
Yeah, not that ape.
Yeah, like, not the ape, because I feel like it would have made more sense, and if
the ape just was there, like...
It was kind of like, oh, you got all this build-up, all these suspects, and then it's a monkey.
Yeah, no kidding, it was like, or an ape, I'm sorry. Think of all the people it could be, and then reasons.
I know, I was over here, like, drawing a chart in my brain. I was like, oh, she could be doing this because of this.
You're all mapping it out,
and then it's an ape with what was it? A shaver, an old-fashioned, like
a razor blade.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I mean, this is certainly a direction that we're going in. But I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny.
I enjoyed it. I would probably give this story, like, a 7 out of 10. What about you?
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
She's gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
I think the ape thing really just sold me, and it was like, this is it. This is funny.
That's true. And that covers the last of the Poe stories in this book. So do you have, like, any final closing thoughts about anything?
No. Not that I could think of.
Honestly, I feel that. But I think this was pretty fun.
I
love Edgar Allan Poe. He is a legend.
He's a legend, but like...
but a little messed up legend.
Yeah. A little disturbing.
Oh, just a little bit. Alright, well, I think that's our cue to go. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And we can't wait to see you in the next one. Remember to vote. As always. Hannah, tell them to vote.
Please vote.
Gosh, Hannah's sitting here frozen like... Alright, guys. We're actually going to go this time.
We love you.
We love you. We'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.